Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys alternatives to some of your high-end lipstick shades from one brand, that is Staze Cosmetics. And I'm going to be swatching some different range of lip products that they have. Now, I always get asked for lipstick shade alternatives and formulation alternatives to some high-end popular lipstick shades. And a lot of people are always looking for it at a budget, okay? Alternatives at a budget, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So some of these lipstick shades are like 4,000 and 3,500 rupees, and sometimes they're not even worth that price tag, and sometimes you can find much affordable alternatives for a much cheaper price with a really good formulation as well. Now, Staze Cosmetics is a brand that has a wide array of lip products in their collection, and some of them are really unique. They also have really good formulation, and they have really good shades. Now, this video is in partnership with Staze Cosmetics, but this idea was pitched to the brand by me, and I was like, why don't we do this kind of like a video where, you know, you guys have so many beautiful shades and there are some good alternatives to very high-end products. So I definitely want to do these one brand dupes more. So I definitely want to show my audience all of the alternatives to some of my favorite high-end lipsticks that are like 4,000, 4,500 rupees. And these lip products from Staze Cosmetics, it's a more accessible price point for a lot of people. Now, this video is for anyone who's looking for really good shade alternatives and really good formulation. Okay, anyways, let's get started. The first range of lipsticks I'm going to be swatching is this range of lipsticks from Staze, which is called the Creme de la Matte Plus Intense Color Lipstick. Now, this is what the packaging of these lipsticks look like. They have a really nice bullet. It looks very nice and sleek, not too much going on. Now, a little bit about the formulation of these lipsticks. They have a very intense color payoff. They have like one swipe pigmentation, and they go on creamy and pretty much settle down to a creamy finish on your lips. Subtle creamy matte finish, but not a very intense drying matte finish. They have a very comfortable feel on the lips. They feel like nothing on the lips, and they have a very lightweight formulation. So these lipsticks are said to have a wear time of about 8 hours. And when I was swatching these lipsticks is when I realized that there were a lot of these shades that were similar to my high-end lipsticks, and that's the reason I came about this concept even. So now we're going to get started with the video and show you guys some really expensive lipsticks, and you can see how affordable these lipsticks are and at a really good price point, and something that is more accessible to everyone with really good formulation and shades. The first one we are going to be swatching is Pat McGrath Flesh 5, and an alternative to that from Staze Cosmetics is in the shade Strawberry Daiquiri, which is, you can see, an exactly similar shade with the same color payoff, the same kind of formulation, you know, that creamy satin finish, and very, very comfortable and lightweight on the lips. And this Pat McGrath one is a little bit of a unique shade to dupe, so I finally found an exact shade in Staze. And the next shade we have is a very expensive lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. Just this one bullet is for 3,300 rupees. This is in the shade Supermodel, which is a light peachy nude shade. And I was looking for a good alternative for this for a very long time, and I finally found it in the Staze Creme de la Matte lipstick, and this is in the shade Sparkly Rose. The next shade we have is 04 Tequila Sunrise, and a shade that it is similar to is MAC Russian Red, as you guys can see here side by side. In terms of undertone, in terms of the pigmentation and everything, it matches up so well to all of these high-end lipsticks. The next shade that we have is called 06 Icy Cosmo, and the alternative it is for Huda Beauty Bachelorette. The other one is a little bit more matte than this, but the shades are very similar. The formulation is a little bit different. Now, the next lipstick from Staze that we have is called their Velvet Kiss Matte Plus Intense Color Lipstick. Now, this one has a very comfortable matte finish, not that very intense retro matte formulation, but that very subtle, comfortable matte finish. And this formulation is very similar to the Bobbi Brown Luxe Matte Lip Color. And the shade that I have right here, which is called Brown Spice, is an exact same shade of Bobbi Brown Luxe Matte Lip Color in the shade Parkside, which is one of my favorite nude shades of all time. And this bullet I think retails for around 3,800 rupees or something like that, which is really, really pricey. It's a good, nice everyday brown nude shade for my lips, and I absolutely love these kind of shades. This shade looks so normal, right? Like a very dupeable shade, but it was actually quite hard to find an exact match for this. I'm glad I found it from this range. Next up, I'm going to be swatching the Staze 929 Love Triangle 3-in-1 lip color. Now, I know you guys would have seen this already in a couple of different lip swatches, but I absolutely love this because it's a very unique concept. Usually you'll see lipsticks and lipstick shades stacked up one on top of the other when you're trying to use it and squish it, and you tend to kind of ruin the bullet and all of that. But this one is so nice because you get 3 lipstick shades in one, and very convenient to use. So you have one shade on the side, one shade on this side, and right here in between if you mix up both of the shades. So if you own 2 of these bullets, you can just imagine the possibilities you have. You can mix and match the shades, you can customize your own lip color. The formulation of this one again is very pigmented. It is a matte formulation and it's pretty much transfer proof. Now I found alternatives to my favorite matte lipsticks in this range, and some of the shades that I could never dupe and could never find in any other lipstick range. So let's get started. The first shade we have is called Scarlet Whisper. This light shade that we have this side is a good alternative to MAC Twig. So this is how they look like side by side. You can see in the transfer test, the Staze one doesn't transfer, but the MAC one transfers a lot. Now swatching this other side, which is similar to a lot of people's favorite shade, which is Ruby Woo, of course. This one doesn't drag on my lips as much as the retro matte lipstick does, but you can see the shade is almost exactly the same. Now a mixture of these 2 shades is very similar to MAC Amplified Cream Lipstick in So You. So you can see just this one bullet fetched you 3 alternatives to some very popular MAC lipsticks. The shade we're going to be swatching is called Caramel Rose. And this side of it is very similar to everybody's favorite shade, which is MAC Taupe. You can see how they look like side by side. They look identical. Now swatching this other side, which is similar to MAC lipstick in the shade Just Curious. Beautiful shade, a little bit of a deeper rosy shade. I'm not even sure if these MAC lipsticks are still available, so if you if you just wanted to try it out, you know where to look for. Now a mixture of both of these shades look like this, which is quite similar to, not an exact match, but quite similar to MAC Brickola. Brickola has a little bit more of a mauve undertone to it. Now moving on to Nude Orchid. This side of it is similar to the shade called Twig again. The other side is a deep purplish kind of a shade, which is similar to MAC Rebel. MAC Rebel does have a little bit more of a deeper pink undertone to it, whereas the Staze one is straight up a little bit more purple toned. But I feel like the Staze lipstick is a little bit more pigmented and more matte on my lips, and it shows up a lot better on my lips than Rebel itself. Over time Rebel has become so sheer, it hardly even shows up on my lips. The mixture of both of these shades look like this. That is similar to MAC Captive. Again, this shade Captive was so unique and it was a little bit hard to dupe, and now I found something that is almost exactly the same shade for half the price. Next up we have this shade called Brick Pink, which this side, if you swatch, you get this beautiful burnt orange red kind of a shade, and this is very similar to a lot of people's favorite shade and a little bit of a harder shade to find an alternative for, which is MAC Marrakesh. I'm so glad I found it in this formulation because I just love it, and it's almost an exact same match. Most of the times when I swatch an alternative for Marrakesh, it will be either too brown or too red, and it doesn't have that burnt orangish hint to it, but here you have the exact same shade. Now this side is also like a very unique pink shade, but I couldn't find any high-end lipsticks that was similar to that. But a mixture of these 2, brighter reddish earthy shade, and a shade similar to that is Chili from MAC, which is also very popular. A lot of people's favorite for a very good reason. Now the last Staze Love Triangle lipstick I have is in the shade Truffle Blush. I love this bullet because it has very nice cool tone shades. Like I mentioned, you can pick an array of colors, mix and match, and choose the one you like. So this shade on this side is beautiful, which is very similar to a very popular shade from MAC called Retro. You can see how they look like side by side. It's a beautiful match. Retro is a little bit more brown. This one doesn't have as much brown as that as the shade Retro does, but it's a very close match, similar color family. The other side of this, which is a very cool toned purple shade, is very similar to MAC Soar. Because Soar is not as pigmented as this one, this is more matte. It looks like a slightly different shade, but the Staze one is a little bit more matte and more pigmented. Now the combination of these 2 shades, maybe on the less brown side, is similar to MAC Verve. Not 100% match, but very, very close. Again, a very beautiful shade. The dupes for these shades are pretty much discontinued, and I couldn't find a shade similar to this for the longest time. until I found this bullet. Next up, I'm swatching the Staze Lips Don't Lie Matte Plus Transfer Proof Liquid Lipstick. Now, the formulation of this liquid lipstick had me amazed because it goes on really pigmented, but it's very thin in consistency. So usually these liquid lipsticks with very thin consistency usually dries your lips out. But this one is so lightweight on the lips. It doesn't suck the moisture out of your lips. It's very long wearing and also very comfortable. One of the most underrated liquid lipstick formulations in my opinion, and they also have beautiful shades. Now, one of their most popular shade that I had to purchase because I didn't want to leave it out and I wanted to see if it was very similar to any of the lipsticks that I own in my collection, but this one is Cocoa Crush, which is a beautiful brown toned nude shade for my lips, and I couldn't find any high-end lipstick that is similar to this, but something that is a little bit more on the brown cool tone side. This one is Anastasia Ashton. Okay, so you can see they've actually been a little bit unique with their shade. It's not an exact match, but it is of a similar color family, so that's the reason I'm including it in this video. But if there's one liquid lipstick shade you have to pick up, it's definitely Cocoa Crush. It's one of the most beautiful shades I own. Next shade from Staze liquid lipstick I have is called Nude Spice. This is a beautiful pale brown nude shade, and this shade is similar to MAC Locked Kiss Ink liquid lipstick in the shade Mischief. We have Staze liquid lipstick in the shade Candy Crush, which is very similar to Anastasia Catherine, which is a very warm pink shade, a little bit of a brighter peachy shade. So you can see how they look like side by side. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is everything I wanted to swatch and show you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure to check the description box below for all the links of the products. Now you can find these products on the Staze Cosmetics website, and you can shop with an additional discount using my coupon code Deepthi2024. Additionally, these products are also available on Amazon, Nykaa and purple.com. See you guys in my next one. Bye.